CC Summers. Apparently, Jate was not the worst one. Not at all, not by a long shot. But, you know, here's hoping that Dice is the worst one of the game. Okay, the most important thing about biker racing. Just participating, just being present, just being there, just getting to play. And injuries, I fuck other people up for funsies. Your favorite food? Everything I can get my hands on is great. And my dream motorcycle? A sports one. No! I refuse. Absolutely fucking not. I'm going again. You'll stay with the one who came up with these questions. His name is Verai Vard. And he is actually a really nice guy. Is he? Who is Verai? He's my right-hand man. Like an errand boy? Something like that, yeah. I wonder if he would ever say that to Verai's face. Be careful with him, okay? I mean, he's a little weird, maybe. What's wrong with him? You'll see. You could just tell me. I'll decide for myself. I don't really want to be part of this gang. I'm really not invested. I'm not committed to this. It's better not to shake his hand when meeting him, you know. Why? Dice dodges the question. Thank you, Dice. But hey, at least you have a lot to talk about. You can ask him about our gang and our facts. You can even learn a little about another gang that we're familiar with. He was starting to look uncomfortable. If he doesn't mind. He turned away and lowered his head for a moment as if something was bothering him. But he still tried to look as confident as possible. Don't ask too many questions about the other gang. Deal? I mean, I guess. Deal, I guess? I don't think it will be more interesting for me to hear about someone else's gang than the one I want to join. I won't ask too many questions. Don't worry. But can you tell me a little more about him? Dice exhaled heavily. Yeah, okay. After all, you should know who you will stay with. He's our worm lover. Is that not Jate? You furrowed your brows. Worm lover? What do you mean? Verai likes worms, dumbass. No shit. Isn't it obvious? He digs in the ground in search of these slimy, disgusting creatures. He said this with disgust. Why do you have a resident worm lover? That's more what I mean when I say what. He's a what? What do you mean? Why do you need a worm lover in your gang? Like that is just a position? Like you feel you just need one person in the gang that just really loves worms? What is it with worms? I constantly force him to wash his hands. Ugh. And not only his hands. Is that why you don't want me to shake his hand? Yes, if only it were that simple. You decided to keep silent. It'll be something of a surprise for you. A long, awkward silence descended on you both. I'll call him here then. He must be hanging around somewhere nearby. Dice went somewhere before saying that you should stay here and not go anywhere. You didn't even notice how quickly he disappeared. You had nothing to do but look at everything around you. But you didn't even have time to start. In any case, there was nothing to look at here. Only a huge gray building occupies almost all of your field of vision. A guy in a helmet decorated with teeth appeared in front of you. You're hoping the teeth are fake. Probably not. His glass was like tinted and you couldn't see his face. You took a full look at him and realized that his costume is not as ridiculous as Dice's. He looked pretty cool like this. Just like a real biker. And he's just standing there, not saying anything. So you decided to say hello first. Hey, Verai? Hello? Still no answer. He seemed to be thinking. Oh, Cece, sorry. I'm so glad to see a newbie here. Dude, you scared me. I thought you were asleep. I'm sorry. We just haven't accepted newcomers into the gang before, and I'm very worried. About what? Why? What are you gonna do? It's okay, Verai. I don't even know what to talk about or what to ask you. Despite all of his cool look of the costume, Verai turned out to be a very shy guy. Is there something I can tell you, Cece? Hey, can you show me your face, please? You're probably hot in that helmet, aren't you? You're right, Cece. Give me just a minute. The biker slowly took off his helmet as if his head was stuck there. Oh, my big dumb head. You could already see his hair. It was about the same color as Dice's. Finally, Verai took off his helmet. Do I look all right? Why do they all have purple hair? Is that like a gang thing? Like you have to have purple hair to be in the gang? Do I look all right? He asked, as if he cared very much about it. Part of his head was shaved and the other part is styled purple hair. His skin is a strange shade, as if he hasn't washed his face in the morning, or as if he's a zombie. You might have noticed it a little earlier. But the only thing that wasn't covered by clothes were his fingers and neck. Later, your gaze fell on his reddened eyes, one of which was not just very red. What is in his eye? I hate it here. I hate it. I hate it. 0 out of 10. Would never live in this city. Nope. Nope. Why is there a worm in his eye? It's possible that the worm isn't there alone, but with other worm friends. Why? He comes a little closer to you with a helmet in his hands. You could clearly feel the smell from his mouth, and it was not the first freshness. So this game was originally in Russian, I believe. Verai himself smells of earth mixed with sweat. This was an unpleasant smell that, fortunately, you will soon get used to. He seems he really digs in the ground in his spare time, as Dice said earlier. I need to put my helmet somewhere. Is there no garage somewhere? You can leave your helmet there, I guess. Oh, yes, it's true. We have a garage nearby. Where is it? You'd better just follow me. I don't think you'd know where to go. You look like you're not from this district at all. You're right. He took you by the wrist and dragged you along. I can walk all by myself, friend. You can see his black painted fingernails better. They are matte. Is it okay, Cece? We need to go. Is it okay that we're going to the garage? Yes. Is it okay that you are dragging me by my wrist? No. No. I'll show you. You mean, is it okay that you took my wrist? Yeah, it's fine. Good. He looked up at me and smiled. Let's find the garage. You followed Verai. He led you between other garages and constantly looked around, as if he himself does not remember which garage belongs to his gang, although you can understand why. All the garages nearby were the same, and they differed only in number and slight color. I'll eat spiders for you, it says. Some were greener, covered with moss, and some rusty pieces of iron. That huge building was getting farther and farther away. Later, we stopped near a garage that doesn't have any number. The garage was a little different from the others. Instead of a number, there was their distinctive sign, which you can see as the boss's hairpin. We're here. Please come in, Cece. You go inside and the warm air clings to your skin. The garage is warm, almost stuffy. You accidentally touched the wall, and it was hot. It's a little hot, isn't it? Yeah. He seems to be having a little trouble breathing. I hope this doesn't bother you. We can go outside again. I'm used to being here, but I don't know what about you. I like to be here alone with you. No. It's okay. I'm good. Actually, second thoughts. I don't want to be in the gang anymore. Just, I'm gonna go home now. You have fun, though. You have fun staying here. I'm just gonna bounce. I'm good. This isn't that bad. Everything is fine, Verai. Okay, whatever you say, Cece. It would be useful to look at the garage from the inside. You need to leave your things here later. You can look around if you want. Verai stepped aside, letting you see everything. The garage was not really full of much to look at. It's so gray and boring, even the drawings. It's full of weird junk and worms. The biggest worm is in a jar with a piece of paper that says Gary, and it doesn't seem very happy to be here. You think that all worms belong to him. They're all tapeworms. It's a little confusing for you. It is a tapeworm. I was just joking about it being a tapeworm last time, but nope, it's actually a tapeworm. Because you saw them in the eye of that biker. You also saw an eggplant. What the hell is that doing here? Probably a snack. I would not eat it. Just hard pass. I'm sorry that everything doesn't look good. Are you done? Oh, I guess so. Maybe there's something you want to ask? Tell me more things about the garage, because you freak me out. I don't want to know any more about you. What's wrong with the garage? I don't even see helmets here. We just recently bought this garage with the whole gang. We have to transfer our bikes here and unpack the things that we will leave in the next room. The things laid out here don't look too much like biker things. I know. Everyone took with them what belongs to him and what is dear to him. For example, Jeff took the rubber eggplant with him. It's his favorite childhood toy, as he told me himself. Nope, I will not be asking any follow-up questions on that. But the boss took almost nothing with him. He always carries everything he needs with him, only a rapier. And about me? I took the worms. They feel so good here, very warm. They are grateful to me. Your gaze fell again up on the infected eye. You stared at him almost directly. His eye twitched, and a worm moved in his eye. What the? It tickles me, Cece. Ah, so cute. My eye itches so much when people look at it. Yeah, same, bro. I don't like it either. Verai gave you an awkward smile. Is something wrong, Cece? Does your eye even see? It does, but I'd like to see your face better. You keep those eyeballs right there in your face. You keep those eyeballs in your goddamn face. I see. Maybe, what is it better for you to do? We're gonna switch to another topic. It's fine. I don't want to help you with that. I'm good. Let's talk about something else. Something that's nothing to do with the worms in your eye. I think we'd better change the subject to another one. I don't want to stare at your eye anymore. It's a little unusual for me. Can we talk about something other than worms? Oh, I understand. This is probably unpleasant for you. You probably, being in a gang, will get used to the fact that I have worms. Although, not everyone is used to it. Some people see me with worms and say how disgusting I am. Oh, sorry. You asked me not to talk about worms. So what did you want to talk to me about? I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Ask anything you want. Well, let me ask about the gang again, I guess. Tell me something about the gang that doesn't have to do with worms. Oh, yeah, sure. I want to know a little about the other members. I can tell you briefly. Go ahead. I don't like one of the bikers at all. Give you 3 guesses as to who that is. Why so? Dite. Stupid old guy. Never would have gotten that one. I have nothing to say about him except that he blames me for his problems. I don't really want to talk about him. Well, I'll keep it in mind when I meet him. Oh. You've probably already met the boss. He's a little rude, but very, very nice. Nice. He's 10 years younger than me. So young, but so strong. Wait, how old are you? Oh, I'm 28 years old. That makes Dice a baby. He's just a baby. Dice is only 18 years old? You should call him the boss. Or Carol. And he's not the only one who's young. Sorry, I'm not used to it yet. Also, who's the other one? 28 is young. Don't be rude. 2 bikers in the gang are young. Another one is Jeff. Jeff and the boss. They're childhood friends. So Jeff can call him by his first name. I envy him. But I like him. A lot. Jeff's the most normal person in this place. In this gang. I'm not that normal. Not as normal as you think. I already really think that you're not fucking normal, so that bodes well for me. Well, everyone's head is filled with their own thoughts. My head is filled with worms. Worms. His breathing is strangely interrupted. He took a few deep breaths and his breathing quickened. Oh, heavens. What? What's wrong? The infected eye seems even more red, as if it was inflamed. The worm, he's coming out. No, he's not. No, the fuck he's not. No, the fuck he is not. You put that shit right back in your face. God damn it. No, I refuse. I refuse. No. If there is a visual, I'm quitting. I'm going to rage quit and I'm going to throw my computer into the sun. Something popped out of his eye. No! Okay, bye. It was a worm squiggling around on his face. I'm blocking the screen because I can't. He pulled on the worm and then just left it alone because he can't get it out. But ignore him. It's fine. It's just a worm. Y'all will let me know when the worm's back in his face, right? Right? He's just my worm friend. Maybe you don't want to see my worms, but it seems like one of them came out to meet you. Hello, worm. I don't want to meet you. You're right. I don't want to see you. Bye. Are you okay, Verai? I'm okay, thanks. I'm happy with my worm. Well, and that makes one of us. Do you like my worm? No. What do you mean? Well, what do you think of him? I think he's gross, and he needs to get away from me right now. My arm's getting tired. The question is strange, a little. Ew. 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 Your worm is ew. Verai tried to shove the worm back into his eye socket. God, it's gross. I expected a lot, but this. You even call it your friend. It's just weird. You tried to answer him politely somehow, but you didn't really succeed. This is another little problem that can happen to me. I'm sorry. Although maybe you did it, Verai does not look offended. How often does this happen to you? Often enough to get used to it. Okay, the worm is back. Why didn't you guys tell me? Why didn't you tell me the worm is back? I can't hold him back. Hey, can I come in? Oh, boss is here. Didn't expect to see you here. I just wanted to check on both of you here. We've had a good conversation here, haven't we, Cece? Yeah, it was so good. So good. I even learned a little more about your gang. I think you didn't screw up this time. This time? Last time Verai scared the newbie by pulling a worm out of one of his nostrils. Well, at least we just got the eye one. Oh. I wouldn't want to see it. Me too. In any case, Verai did a good job. I hope he didn't scare you too much with his worms. He didn't. Everything was fine, Carol. You did good, Verai. I did? Will you do what you promised then? He sighed with displeasure. Ugh, fine. Dice leaned over to Verai and began stroking his hair and then his head. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Dice clearly didn't want to do this. Verai blushed, staring at Dice. I did good. Man, don't look at me like that. Dice turned his head away from him, trying not to look in his direction, and casually continued to stroke him. That goes for you too, Cece. Get out of here somewhere. Dice ending. Well, we didn't die, so... I am still not emotionally ready to offer to help this man with the worm in his eye. So I'll ask about him. But the worm stays where it is. How long have you been in the gang anyway? I've been here a year. To be honest, a lot has changed this year. I became what I am now. What do you mean? I've made a few new friends, and I'm not just talking about my companions. I'm not just friends with bikers. That's nice. They're my sweet worms. That is not what I expected. I don't think they're your friends. They are. They are lovely friends. Your gaze fell again on the infected eye. You stared at him almost directly, and then his eyeball popped out. Yeah, we're going to talk about something else. Tell me more about yourself. Verai seems like a nice guy, even if he is a bit strange, and he's got a very nice, but a bit of a dirty face. Looks like he could really use a haircut, a shower, and some medical help. And why not make friends with him? I thought that since I stayed with you, it's for a reason. I need to know about you more in order to become your friend or companion. Aw, that's so sweet, Cece. I want to be your friend too. Please, save the worms for next time. Oh, please forgive me. I just wanted to say that not only am I happy to be your friend, but my worms too. I think we'll make friends with them too. They're so excited. I heard you, Verai. Sorry. How good are you as a biker? What do you mean? How good am I? I don't think I'm any good at all. How come? You even look like a normal biker. Just because I have a helmet doesn't mean anything. Mostly I'm like a support team. The weakest biker. Well, we went often, but I don't think I do anything useful for the gang. That's why Dice is looking for another companion, I guess. He wants to replace me. Don't say that. If you win, then this is the merit of the whole gang. You all put your efforts into winning, don't you? Well, I think I'm not trying hard enough. Maybe if you stop stuffing your head full of worms. I think you're probably a better biker than me. I've never been on a bike in my life. Not true. I'm not even a biker. Oh. So, I have to teach you how to be a biker? I'll do something useful. I'm sure you're a good biker. Seriously, don't worry about that. Okay. Thank you. Okay, this is where I'm gonna pop out again. I don't like it. I don't like it. Put it back. Ooh, ooh, ew. Okay. It's nice, I guess. It's a nice worm. Oh, look at the worm. Is it back in there? Okay. It is nice. Yes? Do you really like it? No. Nope. I do. You sound unsure. But don't worry. You don't have to like him. He considers all friends of mine his friends. My worm comes out to see my friends, so you're my friend. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you think so. He won't be offended by you if you don't like him. Hey, I think you're as interested in worms as I am. Really not. Really not. We are on different planes of existence as far as worms go, man. I am disinterested at best in worms. It excites me so much. Nope, don't you? Mm-mm. So I want to give you something. What? Is it a worm? I don't want it. Verai moved away from you a little. Can you? Don't look. I will 100,000% be looking. Absolutely not. Do not give me a worm. Why? I'm a little shy. Shy about what? It is a surprise for you. Can you close your eyes for a moment? No. I'm wondering what you're gonna do. But, okay, I'll do it. I guess. You covered your eyes with your hands and closed them so that you wouldn't be tempted to open them. I'm not getting a fuck. Don't touch me with a worm. Okay, now. Verai was muttering something about worms. And you were waiting. You thought you heard a sound like he was unzipping his... When I said, don't give me a worm, this counted as a worm. I don't want it. Put it back. What the hell are you doing? I'm preparing my surprise. I'm opening my eyes. No, please don't. I'm not ready. Verai frantically zips up his pants. I think you misunderstood a little. You opened your eyes. Right in front of your eyes, there's a very excited Verai holding a worm with an undone belt. What? You see, I don't do anything wrong. Is it a worm wearing pants? The worm crawled right into my pants. So naughty. Wait, are you serious? Actually, yes, sometimes they crawl under my clothes. Forgive me, please, I'm sorry. I know it was weird. It's fine, don't cry. I guess you don't want to stay in the gang after that. I do. Just don't do that again, okay? Okay. Please accept this worm as a sign of our friendship. I'm good. Why is it dripping? Why is it wet? Why is it wet? I don't really want to do this. I don't know where it's been in you, especially since it's somehow wet. Then we can put it in a jar and call it by your name. I like that idea more. He smiled back at you so cutely. Our worm is Cece. Cece the worm. Yay. Hey guys, it's me, Cece the worm. I'm ready to crawl into your orifices. Haha. Worm friends. Okay. It could have been a lot worse. I'm gonna have to do the gross thing. I don't want to. Can I help you with your worm problem? Help? Yeah, do you need that? I really need help. And I'm willing to accept any help. But how do you imagine that? You don't have any special medical tools. I don't think you could find them even if you wanted to. Is there any other way I can help you? Maybe get you on a good dewormer? I've heard ivermectin's real good at getting rid of worms and COVID, so got you covered there twice. If you really want to help. His green eyes glittered and a faint blush covered his cheeks. The only solution, only your tongue. Homie, I'm talking about the worms that are not attached to your body. How are we going to deal with that problem, my friend? Not that one is irrelevant. That one wasn't even part of this conversation. My tongue? Yeah, with the help of the tongue, you can pull out my worms. I've got these beautiful little things called fingers. Much better with the pulling of worms. Or at least disturb them. Are you sure this would help you? At least some help. The human tongue is quite dirty, and it's teeming with bacteria. I know. I won't get any worse, I promise. I'm afraid it might be bad for your vision. I guess you can't see well as it is. Honestly, my vision is just a little blurry. But you really don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna worry about it. You're asking me to put my tongue on your eyeball. I feel like I'm justified in being a little worried. So, how long is your tongue? The normal human length. You know, in this case, your size really doesn't matter. Oh, thank you for the assurance there. I'm sorry if that sounded weird. I really don't know how long my tongue is. Can we check it out? Please, let me see it. Wait. You're a little shy about sticking your tongue out in front of him. Verai is waiting impatiently for you to show him your tongue. Don't be shy, Cece. Maybe you should close your eyes and cover your eyes up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Say, You ran your tongue over your teeth. You don't want to keep Verai waiting. He seems very eager to know the size of your tongue. Come on. You opened your mouth and stuck out your tongue to show how long it could be. Perhaps you even wanted to impress him. Aww. But unfortunately, there was nothing to impress him with. Verai was touched. Is it too small for him? I mean, compared to fucking Dice? Probably. So cute. It's even shorter than the average length, just like mine. Well, your mom said it's a perfectly adequate length. Besides, it's not the length, it's how you use it. The average length of the tongue is about 7 centimeters. So I guess your tongue is only 5 centimeters long. I like your short tongue. Oh, thanks. You're very glad that he liked your tongue. It seemed like you both found a common tongue. You stuck your tongue back in. Wow, you seem to know all about tongues. Haha. Actually, not really, Cece. I mean, you know more about them than I do. After the first eye-licking time, the tongues interested me very much. How many times have you let somebody lick your eye? I never thought I'd like it. Have you had someone help you before? The boss helped me. Not surprising. Did it help you? Did it hurt your eyes? Don't ask me so many questions, Cece. I already wanted to tell you about it. I'm listening to you carefully. You know, if you still want to help me... Yeah, I want to, I guess. Verai looked around to make sure no one was around. He tilted his head a little closer to you and began to speak a little lower. I have to tell you the story, Cece, so I can see if I can trust you. This is the greatest story of my life. You see, no one has ever wanted to help me before. No one noticed that I have problems. And no one was confused by the fact that my skin became greenish. No one but him, our boss. Dice. He always helps me. He helps me sometimes with bathing. Why? But he's always had anger issues, so because of this, my head most often ends up in the sink. But I can't be mad at him. Especially now after it happened. But what did he do after all? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I keep dragging this out. So, it wasn't that long ago that we had another more spacious garage. That garage was many times more spacious than the one we're in right now. It's a little cramped for the two of us, isn't it? I don't think so. This garage is the size of a fairly large room. You can't imagine how crowded it will be when there are 4 motorcycles here, Cece. Let's continue. You decided for yourself that you will not interrupt his lines with your own thoughts anymore. You're ready to enjoy his story. Or not. It was late enough then. And all the bikers were already asleep, or at least getting ready, but I didn't want to sleep at all. I was in the garage looking for my worm jar. I wanted to spend this quiet night with my worms. I always try to find a private place so that my gang don't notice me. And other bikers, too. Dice hates it when I mess with my worms. There was so much space in this garage, so I could have huddled in a corner and no one would have noticed me. But then I didn't have time to hide. Dice saw me. As soon as he saw, he started walking towards me. I was so scared. He must have been annoyed that I picked up my jar again. He quickly approached me and abruptly, firmly pressed me against the wall, taking me by the hair. Verai stopped his story and looked at you. It was strange, considering he didn't even get to the moment of the story you've been waiting for. Is something wrong, Verai? Nothing wrong. I just thought it was really nice of you to listen to me. I hope you really like it, or at least you're interested. Well, I mean, how can I be sure I like it if you haven't even gotten through the story yet? You know, I'm not sure that I like it. You've barely told me anything, but... Verai shuddered slightly and fell silent. He didn't seem very happy about what you said. But you didn't plan on upsetting him, did you? No, completely a coincidence. An oopsie, if you will. But will you tell me the whole story? I'm sorry. Don't be. Listen, you wanted to tell me a story so I could help you later, right? Right. So just continue. I'm sure I'll enjoy your story. Verai listened to your words. Yeah, I think you're right. I'll keep telling you, and then you'll probably like it. It seems to have encouraged him, and he looks more confident. Let's continue, Cece. I stopped at the part that Dice took me by the hair when he came up to me. Am I right, Cece? Yeah, I remember that. I don't really like it when Dice does that. Verai swallows hard. Usually that meant he was going to beat me up or something. It was a common thing when I was doing something stupid, as he said. I covered my face with my hands and shivered, waiting for him to hit me again. But he didn't hit me. That surprised me. He put his hand on my shoulder and told me to shut up and stay still. Then, he pulled me closer to him. Boss was peering into my worm-infested eye. He examined my eye in every possible way, looked at it from different angles. It was embarrassing. I didn't understand what he wanted from me at all. Dice turned his head from side to side. Then, he took off the gloves with his teeth, and his fingers reached for my eye. Boss's fingers crawled across my face and deliberately grazed my eyelid. He loomed over me so close. Dice forcibly opened the eye with his long fingers, not letting me close the eyelid. His huge mouth opened slightly, and his huge, nasty, slimy, and long tongue moved. He showed me how long his tongue could be. Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it. The tongue is really huge. He was wriggling so much and dripping a lot of saliva. Ew. Boss gently licked his lips to my eyeball and eventually began to lick. Verai became sad. He paused for a moment to take a deep breath. After that, he continued the story again. But he was rude to me. He kept pulling my hair with one hand and holding my eyelids open with the other, and it hurt so much. Dice began to roughly lick my eye, almost pulling it out of the socket. We've been there. Later, he let go of my eyelids. I couldn't close them anymore. The eye seemed to have turned even redder, and tears were streaming down my cheeks. My cheeks felt like they were burning. He licked my cheeks where my tears were streaming. It didn't make me any better, but he was satisfied. But I tried not to resist. I thought that if I somehow twitched, Dice would pull out my eye completely. Not an unreasonable assumption. The boss told me I was disgusting. He told me to shut up because he doesn't like it when I play the pity angle. Yeah, it's definitely him that's disgusting. Not Dice. Not Dice at all. And he continued his forced eye licking with great pleasure. He said that my eye is salty and very tasty. He tried to poke my little worms in my eyes with his tongue to pull them out. I could feel my worms wriggling. They seemed to like it. They wriggled their bodies, dragging each other harder and harder as Dice pulled them out. At least they like it. Although I actually liked it too. It felt weird. It was ticklish. My eye seemed about to bulge out of its socket. Dice helped me. He paused. This meant that Verai finished the story. So, can I trust you now, Cece? Verai started whispering to you. You know everything now. It's so nice that you didn't interrupt me. He looked at you, panting, waiting for your reaction. I trusted you with my little secret, Cece. There was a silence that lasted for about a minute, during which you just stared at each other. Hey, you look like you could use some help right now. Oh, are you ready for this? I guess. I take it you're done. You know, we could try recreating the story. And Verai lit up. I could help you, just like you wanted. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea at all. He began to look a lot happier. You liked it. It's nice to meet someone like you. I knew you could understand me. Let's repeat it. Verai looked very excited, as if this is what he had been waiting for all along. Verai was already very close to you, so you tried to get closer. May I? Yes, whatever you think is best. Verai said uncertainly. You put your arms around him. You could clearly hear his heartbeat. I can't wait for you to start, Cece. This is weird. This is really fucking weird. This is so weird. I don't like it. His heart was pounding quite fast. Then he hugged you close and relaxed. He nodded approvingly, which meant you could start. You put your hand on Verai's face. His eyes were moving from side to side in their sockets. You opened the eyelid of an infected eye. Ugh. You were surprised at how easily his eyelids stretch. Verai blushed a little. The big worms were moving, and they were gradually moving faster because you were in contact with his eyes. You're not quite sure what to do. You slowly moved your mouth to his eye and awkwardly kissed it. Verai rolled his eyes with delight. Then you gently licked around his eye. Don't be shy, lick it. You touched his eye with the tip of your tongue. Your tongue, use it all. You stuck out your whole tongue, but you can't fully grasp his eye with it. It's not as big as his boss's. Why are my hands cut off? You began to lick under the upper eyelid, then under the lower and deeper. Verai made a soft sound. The worm No! No, with the worms. Sweat beads down your face as well as Verai's. Should I do anything with them? Pull them. Okay. You caught one of them with your tongue. You pulled it carefully. Verai began to drool. You kept pulling. Ugh. One of the worms came out from the bottom of his eye. Don't be afraid of him. This worm is my friend. Okay. No. No. Can you poke my other eye? No. Why? No. No. No, I don't want to poke your eye. Ew. Okay, let him go. Everything's so... Sorry for drooling a lot. You finished and moved a little away from Verai and looked at the results of your deeds. It was amazing. Feeling so good. Your tongue wavers as it retreats from Verai's eye, almost gagging at the sickening salt taste. You pulled a worm out with your mouth. But that's what... It was like licking the ocean floor if it was polluted with oil or something more disgusting. Like worms! You tried getting the taste out of your mouth by licking your fingers and sucking your teeth, but it was no hope. The taste would stay in your mouth for a good while. You're just lucky you didn't get a piece of worm in your mouth. I hate it here. Speaking of worms, Verai was still in front of you, watching you. His cheeks were flushed and tears ran down his face, though he doesn't look like he's in pain. In fact, from his shaking and his hands being pressed against his... I don't want to play anymore. Sorry, guys. My mom just called. She said I have to go home. You did good. Thank you. You're so welcome. I kind of wish you made it hurt. You didn't want to do that in the first place. You wish you would have bit him or kicked him or something. Yes, you did want to do it in the first place. You asked. You offered. And then when he said, "Are you okay with doing that?" You're like, yeah. Yeah, that sounds great to me. You can't be mad now. His crying and whining made you panicked, and you didn't want to deal with that. Who knows what would happen if you made him upset? He is the right-hand man of Dice, after all, and that guy doesn't seem all that friendly. He's not. Your attention was put back on Verai once he stepped closer to you. He seemed off. He was panting and squirming as his face looked redder. Was he sick? But then you noticed it. I know that you already did something for me. I sure did, and I'm leaving now, and I'm never coming back. I really enjoyed it, but could you help me again? Nope, sure will not. Just one more time. Nope. No. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you fucking do it. Did he really expect you to help him after you did such a sickening thing with his eye? He's a pervert, a freak. Though the thought of punishing said freak intrigued you, you wanted to make him pay after all. The thought of your tongue touching his disgusting eye made you cringe. What were you thinking? What were we thinking? We weren't. I don't know what happened. That didn't matter now. The deed was done, but now it's time to show Verai exactly what you were thinking. Verai squirmed as he waited for your response, but his squirming got even worse once you grabbed his throat. His hands quickly grabbed your arm, trying to relieve some pressure. He looked scared and pathetic. Listen, I'll help you one more time, but it's going to be under my terms. Got it? Verai quickly shook his head, hoping you will let go of his neck. But he was out of luck once you kicked out his legs. He whined and groaned as his knees hit the concrete floor, and sniffled once the grip on his neck got tighter. You weren't going to make this easy on him, not one bit. You were mad and disgusted. You wanted nothing more than to punish Verai for what he made you do. You let go of Verai's neck and leer at him as he started coughing, though you couldn't feel any pity for him. You walked closer towards him and looked down at him as he regained his composure. He looked up at you, nervous and fear lacing his watery eyes. You want me to help you, right? Verai looked conflicted, but he still nodded to your question. I want words, so speak. I want you to help me. Please. No more hurting? You snorted at that, making Verai look to the side and nervously bite his lip. You lift your foot and suddenly kick Verai in the chest, making his head hit the ground hard. He cried out and groaned loudly, covering his aching head. Please. No more. Shut it. You wanted my help. You got it. Now take off your shirt, and only your shirt. You weren't going to let Verai walk out of this. He wanted your help, so you're going to give it to him. Whether he likes it or not, it doesn't matter. Verai struggled to sit up as he sobbed softly, still holding his head in pain. He looked up at you and wiped his eyes with his other hand, trying to say something. I need your help getting it off. You tilted your head sideways, confused as to why he would need help with such a simple thing. He shrinked under your gaze and demonstrated his problem. He couldn't reach the zipper. Why not? Why? Just tiny little worm arms? What is happening? You sighed and dropped to his level, startling Verai a bit. You took pity on this one time as you So... Oh, for his shirt. Okay. He's having trouble getting his shirt off. Getting it off. I'm fine. I'm doing fine. The bottom part of his shirt came off, and when he turned around, you were greeted with shiny metal rings hanging from his nipples. Your gaze never left them, as you were certainly surprised. Who knew he was the type to get piercings? You didn't let the sudden surprise stop you for long, though. You pulled them lightly, testing exactly how durable they were. Verai squirmed lightly and gave a few whines here and there, but it was just urging you to pull more. You suddenly pulled the rings the hardest you could, threatening them to break off from the skin. Verai whined and cried loudly, pleading for you to stop. Wait, please, no. You grabbed his throat and pushed him to the ground, making him gasp. The rings you were pulling, fortunate for him, didn't break off when you pushed him, though you could see bits of blood forming on them and how red they looked. You smiled to yourself and got up, stretching your arms. You looked down at him as he whimpered and squirmed on the ground. He didn't even bother to sit up. You stomped on his leg, making him yelp, but also bringing his attention back to you. Sit up. I'm not done yet. I know it's not even, it's us doing this to him, but it's still making me very uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't like being the one in this position. I still have a little something to take care of. Verai sat up, trying his best not to hurt himself while doing it, but he had a confused look on his face. You chuckled when, oh no. No, we're not going to do that now. We're just going to leave. Somehow the worst part of this is just the decapitated fucking foot. Why is it decapitated? I know decapitated is for head. It's amputated, but I'm a little frazzled. Oh, stomped on it. Just keep kicking him in the balls. Just kicking him and kicking him and kicking him and kicking him in the balls. Well, there's that. I don't even know if that was an ending. It just ended. Okay, so he's right in the middle of telling his story about Dice being nasty. And we'll just be like, this is such a cool story, bro. Love this. It's so good. Great story, bro. 10 out of 10. I like it so far. I want to know what happened next and the ending of your story. Verai smiled. He was very pleased with this. Oh, you really like it? I'm not very good at telling stories, and I think I'm doing this for so long. I think I'd better continue. I'm just nervous. Very, very nervous. Take your time, Verai. And just relax, dude. Continue telling your story. I'm a good person. I'm not gonna do anything horrific to you. It's fine. Okay, we licked his eye. His tears stained his face as he cried some more. His blush never faded and his breathing was ragged. He looked like he was trying to compose himself, but he wasn't able to. He started squirming around, acting like something else was bothering him. Are you okay? I shouldn't have done this. I told you I would have hurt your eye. He looked up at you, then shook his head, his squirming getting worse by the second. No, it's not my eye. Or it's not hurting me, at least. I just get... He looked down at the ground, his blush spreading to his ears. Yeah. I get excited. Motherfucker. Like I get why we're mad. I was thinking about it, and it's like, we did that because we were offering to help him with a medical problem, and he agreed, not telling us that this would also give him sexual gratification. So then we did it, and then we found out afterwards that he had gotten sexual gratification from it without our consent or knowledge that that was something that could happen. Not fucking cool, man. Gonna fucking kick you in the crotch 80 times. How about that? It feels really nice when you touch or lick me like that. Ew. It happened when Dice was messing with my eyes too, but he just left me alone. Nothing happened. He got closer to you, basically rubbing his body against yours. I want to wrap myself around you like a worm. You could feel the tent in his pants. Ew. I know you already helped me once. I did. You are asking for a lot. Yep. Nope, I don't want to. I don't want to help you anymore. I'm okay. You helped him once. Why not again? Why not? Why not? What's the difference there? Maybe you can get something out of this. But who knows with him? Maybe you'll get a bucket of worms. That's a thought. Okay, fine. I'll help you again. You don't need to rub against me like a dog. He smiled, then slowly backed away from you. Thank you. I'm really sorry you have to see me this way. No, you're not. No, you're fucking not. Don't apologize for something you're not sorry for. I'm just so needy. Yeah. My body feels all hot and gross. But I'll make it up to you. I don't want you to. I want you to leave me alone. Forever. Forever and ever. You look at him weirdly. Make it up to you. How? You were joking about the buckets of worms thing. But to your surprise, he didn't do that. He turned around and tried to point at the zipper on the back of his costume. Can you help me? I have trouble doing it myself. This man is dirty. Like, he is dirty. I don't want to be anywhere near this. And then the worms thing. No. I'd rather go back to the whole kicking him in the crotch thing. You walked up to him and put one hand on his waist for a better grip. The other hand took the zipper and started to pull it down. You could tell Verai was getting excited because he was slightly swaying his hips to the side. Once you were done, you tried to get his costume off him, but he backed away. Don't worry. I know how to take it off. Thank you for helping me with the zipper. You nodded your head and smiled, but before you could say or do anything, he took off a piece of his costume. That was a surprise. Who knew it came off like that? Your focus returned to Verai, but once it did, you got a good look at his chest. Do you like them? I have no strong feelings either way. I thought you would like to see them. He had nipple rings. 2 silver rings hung from his perky pink nipples. This was definitely a surprise to you. Whoever thought this guy would be into piercings? They look interesting. Never thought you would be into piercings. He smiled, then started to rub them softly, almost showing himself off to you. You can touch them if you want. I'll rip it the fuck off. Almost did. Okay. He asked if you wanted to touch them, but you don't think you got much of a choice. Imagine how you would say no to him. Simple, you would just say, no. That's it. This man is just a skin suit filled with worms. Why? You didn't notice at first because nothing was moving, but now it's very clear. He looked at you sadly for a second, wondering why you stopped. Then he took a look at himself, his smile returning. Oh, those are just my worms. Yeah, I know what they are, dude. They're in your skin. I think that's the concerning part. I know they're worms. That's not the part I'm confused about. They love to play inside of me. I think they're excited because I'm excited. Feel them. I'm okay. I'm good. I really don't want to. They love to be touched. Well, I don't love touching worms, so... He gestured to his tummy where most of the worm squirming is happening. Put your hand on my stomach. They're all crawling here. My worms want you to feel them. Ew. You slowly took your hand and ran it across his stomach, feeling the thousands of worms move. Why? Why is he packed with worms? You couldn't see them move very well unless you looked up closely, but you can definitely feel it. They move with your hand. You feel yourself shiver, but Verai looks very happy. He's smiling softly and oh God. They're so happy about you. How many worms do you have? Oh, I don't think I can give you an answer. There are obviously a lot of them. I'm not sure I can count them based on my feelings. Sometimes worms feels like one big worm. Do you want me to share them with you? Nope. Thank you, though. Thanks. That was very generous and nice of you to ask, but no. Nope. No. No, thank you. Nope. I'm good. I'm so good. No, I don't want it. Mm-mm. No, thank you. Save them for yourself. You decided not to continue talking about worms. Before you can move on, though, you feel something crawl on your hand. It felt wet, slimy, and just icky. You took your hand away and examined it, seeing the new worms that clung to your hand. I'm assuming they meant clung. You were this close to shaking your hand and screaming violently, but Verai stopped you. I'm sorry. I told you they love to play. They get out sometimes. You smiled at him with your best ability. You took the worms off your hand slowly and gave them back to Verai. He placed them on his shoulders and let them crawl wherever they see fit. As he does, you notice his legs move again. Okay. After everything, after all of this, after everything that has happened up to this point, we are still going through with this. We full steam ahead. We got this. We're fine with this. And before you ask, yes, there is a worm coming out of it. Now I'm grappling with the worm because it's in the way. He says, hopefully you'll stay. I like you. We can play with worms more. I can show you them all. We'll spend so much time together with worms. I have a feeling I'm not going anywhere, so don't worry, I say. But I am. I am worried. Okay, he just told me the whole story again. We're just looking at each other. It says, you think now you can make a choice. Make a bad choice. You know you want to do that. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm not going to help you. I'm good. Yeah, you know what? The silence ended abruptly. Yes, Cece? He smiles kindly, looking at you. He doesn't even suspect that you're not going to help him after hearing this story. Cece? His voice trails off. You started thinking about how to tell him about it. You didn't want to upset him too much. He shared personal information with you, to some extent. You mumbled something and turned your head away from him. What? Cece, please, answer me. You weren't ready to answer yet. You looked at him again, only to see him staring back at you. Tell me honestly, did you not like it? I won't be offended with you if you help. Just tell me what you think. I don't want to drag the answer out of you. You think it's better to tell him your thoughts in the soft tone. You sigh heavily. Okay, well, you know what I think? I didn't like that. That's fine. I think I'm just a bad storyteller. Your story is weird, Verai. I know, it's unusual. Unusual for ordinary people and for an ordinary person like you. You just had to know that. I mean, the story, not that you are ordinary. Verai hesitated and the pause dragged on. Never mind. Are you going to help me? You're still going to help me despite this, aren't you? Well, about this. I'm not going to help you, Verai. He was numb for a moment and was not even able to utter a single word. What? It was the only word Verai could find. Did you not hear me? Are you serious? Didn't we have a deal or something? No. There can be no question of any deal. I don't want to help anymore. Did you just want me to satisfy you? It looks like he's about to cry. Not really. What do you mean, not really? You yourself offered to help me. And I told you you can do this without having medical equipment. And yes, it makes me feel so good. See, that's the part. That's the part I didn't agree to. That right there. Is that bad? Yes, because you didn't communicate this ahead of time. That's what makes it bad. We could have a little fun and become good friends. I don't think we would have any fun. But you just refused me. I didn't think I would have to help you like this. I kind of guessed it, but I didn't really think that it would turn you on until now. You can't do this to me. I can do whatever the fuck I feel like. It's my body. You're upsetting me. Verai yelled, starting to sob. Hey. Ugh. Let's just forget it, okay? Don't be sad. He began to cry and rubbed his eyes, after which they became even more red. I was hoping you could help me. That you care. I don't. I just met you. I'll try to find another way to help you, okay? Verai sniffs and whines. Maybe you'll change your mind? No. I will not be doing that. You're gross. Will you lick my eye at least with the tip of your tongue? No! No. Please. No! Verai quietly sobs and he keeps whining. Why are you so stubborn, Verai? Verai screamed horribly, just like a baby. Saying that it scared you is to say nothing. It was scarily loud. But the noise didn't end there. You didn't have time to properly digest what just happened when angry Dice burst into the garage. Dice pushed Verai to the other side so hard that he almost fell. Ugh, stand aside. I just wouldn't lick his eyes. That's it. That's it. I don't deserve to be beaten to death because I refuse to lick his eyeballs. I know, a hot take. I think he heard us. No shit. What did you do to Verai, you fucking imbecile? I didn't do anything. That's the point. Dice approached you and Verai holding a gilded, not very long, but thin, sword in front of him. It looked sharp enough to pierce through both of us. His pupils narrowed. You are in extreme anxiety from fright, from impending or expected danger. It seems that Verai feels the same way. Wait, boss, the newbie didn't do anything wrong. I told you not to lie to me. Dice elbowed Verai sharply right in the stomach, and he almost choked on his own saliva. Verai doubled over, letting out a soft groan. Oh, my tummy. Dice leaned over and took him by the hair, starting to pull it hard. Ouch. Boss, please, hold on. You were right. I was upset. The newbie upset me. I'm not lying. How did this jerk upset you? This, hurt me. I see. I didn't fucking hurt you, you dick. Dice pulled Verai's hair even harder and turned his head to you. He's smiling. Dice's rapier is literally a few centimeters from Verai's face, but at the same time, he points it at you. Do you have anything to say, idiot? You didn't really want to be snarky in response to him, and even more so to answer. He's gonna kick your ass anyway. So it's better to be a good biker boy. Have you got a dry throat or something? Do you really like offending only the weak to you? You wouldn't say that Verai is weaker than you. He's probably lacks the courage to also take you by the hair and dip you into the toilet, for example. Dip people in the toilet? Or maybe you're just a fake guy running errands from another gang of our rivals. It seems to me that he only got angrier. But you have no idea what Dice is talking about. That gang has already done a nice job having fun with Verai, who was kidnapped before. Dice. Shut up. You see, Cece? Only I have the right to hurt him. Me, the boss. You're not even a biker. Yeah, I know. This is all fine, of course, but I have nothing to do with this gang. Dice grinned. Look who's talking. Well, did you strain your vocal cords? Let's see if you're really as protected as those bikers. Let's not. Oh, and he stabbed me in the stomach. So sudden you didn't even have time to react. At first, nothing was felt, but after a few seconds, everything began to burn. Fuck! You began to feel moisture trickling down your arm. The rapier plunged deep. You gasped and shuddered, and you immediately clutched your stomach with trembling hands. Huh. Are you really not from another gang? That's so boring. You were trying to catch your breath while Dice was standing with a rapier stuck in you. Hold the rapier with your own hands, LOL. We'll fix you up if I haven't damaged your intestines. You don't really care what he's saying. Your breathing becomes frantic and your vision gradually begins to darken. You just barely held onto the rapier, not trying to pull it out, but trying not to shove it deeper. Is the newbie gonna be okay? Nah, the newbie's gonna be fine. Don't worry. I hope. So, Dice, what are you doing here? I mean, weren't you supposed to be busy? You needed outside control. I was afraid you'd screw up. But it doesn't matter now. We'll talk about it later. Did you hear what we were talking about from the beginning to the end? Not really. I was dozing off, but I woke up to your screeching. Oh. Guys, I'm passing out. Cece! You need a colostomy bag. Great ending for me. Love that. So for these last two endings, you have to name yourself Gary, like the worm. Hello, our name is Gary. Gary the human. Hey, Gary. Gary. It seems to me you're special. You're a special newbie. He's peering closer at you with his sick pink eyes. Why do you think so? I will tell you. Your name is just like my favorite worm. The one you saw earlier. I want to give you something. Something really special to me, just like you seem special to me. Wait here, I'll be right back. He walked away, stood over the shelves, and picked up his jar with worm named Gary. You should know how excited I am right now. He reached out to you, holding the jar in front of you.
Verai was panting softly. It's you. He put his finger in the jar and the worm wound itself around it. It was all wet. Something was dripping from it, and you can only guess what or why. Although perhaps it was his saliva, since he drools so much. Is that me? Yeah, I named him like that. And what should I do with this? I want you to accept it. Accept it? I mean, I want you to eat it. I will not be doing that. No, thank you. Nope. Nope. Is he really not in his right mind at all? No, I don't know if he's ever been. You're not sure you want to eat. How am I not sure if I want to eat it? That is a definite, hard no. I do not want to eat this thing. These squiggly creatures can be eaten raw. Grew it in myself. Ew. I don't want to know what part he grew it in. Don't tell me. What are you going to do? You know, not for me, thanks. I'm on a diet, a non-worm diet. You think you're not really hungry. So you decided to politely refuse him. I don't want to eat this. Sorry. It's a parasite. I don't need worms. Oh, it's okay. Verai put the worm in your hands. It's so slimy and wriggles in your hands. It's yours now. The worm slowly wraps around all your fingers. Verai was just watching. He's really enjoying it a lot. He is yours now. Now we are all friends together. Welcome to the gang. Thanks. Guess we'll eat the fucking thing now. Okay, I agree. You do? Give me the worm. Give it. Okay. He held out his hand to you. You hesitantly gave him yours as he gave you the worm. So slimy. Gary was crawling from hand to hand like it's trying to escape. Be gentle. Eat it gently. You don't really know what to do with it. It's probably best to eat it like spaghetti. Thank you for that. Thank you. You glanced up when you heard Verai breathing loudly. He's starting to look a little impatient. Come on, eat it already. You gulped. You closed your eyes and pushed it into your mouth. Chew it. You tried to chew it, but this worm is like rubber. It tastes like nothing. You bit it in two and started chewing one half. After that, you tried to swallow, and it was quite difficult. Oh, you're done. How does it feel, Gary? I really hope that it's fucking dead and it's not gonna lay eggs in our stomach. I'm not happy with this. How does it feel, Gary? It feels fucking gross. You looked at him questioningly. Oh, man, I have no idea. He's a part of you now. My heart is filled with warmth, pride, and childish joy. And worms. Now you are my best friend. Okay. How does it just keep getting worse? Like, oh my God, just throw me on the ground and grind my intestines up into a meat pie. Like, that was simple. That was easy. That made sense. Pulling fucking worm out of the... Ugh. This is so gross. I'm gonna go scrub my brain now. I